Hey everybody! I'm so happy to be here. I'm Adalina East, founder of Transformational Healing, mental health expert, and multidimensional mentor. And in last week's YouTube video, we talked about fear. We talked about the neuroscience of getting brave, and we talked about the different brain chemistries that are involved in our fear response, and how sometimes that fear response can take over us, even years, months and years after the actual fear has happened. So a lot of times this can look like a traumatic response, but there are always ways to work on this. So let's start with that today. We're going to do this really beautiful transformational healing process to work with one of your major fears. So because I'm not with you, and because we're just doing this distance, and this is a very public way to work together, I'm going to ask you not to go so deeply back into your trauma. I'm not there with you. I can't work with you one-on-one at the moment. So let's work on something that's kind of recent, right? Like maybe there was a car accident recently. Maybe you just have always had this massive fear of public speaking. Maybe you're afraid of spiders. Let's not go so far back into the deep trauma. If you want to do that, I'm always happy to work with you one-on-one, and you can find information to book sessions with me through my bio. So today let's talk about how we're going to do this first. So the first part of this process is that we're going to clear an old belief that you have about this fear. So let's take public speaking as our example, as we did in last week's YouTube video. So let's say public speaking is your main fear in life. When did this start? Was there like a moment in school, let's say, where you blurted out the wrong answer and kids laughed at you? Was there a moment in your first job where you had to give a big presentation and it went really poorly? Or is it just something that you've always been fearful of and you're not quite sure why? That's okay too. So we're just going to start with the belief part of all of this. And then once we let go of that old belief and we bring in a new belief on all levels of our subconscious, then we're going to rewrite that story, that older story about why you're afraid. If you don't know why you're afraid, that's okay too. Sit and hang out for that part as well. And then lastly, you're going to visualize yourself doing this thing that you've always been afraid of with the greatest of ease. So like, let's say it's the spider example, right? You're going to see yourself liberating spider outside without even thinking about it. Or you're going to see yourself giving a presentation at work with it being no big deal and just being able to like have a cup of coffee while you do it. After that, we are going to use some tones. These are channeled tones through my guides, and they are so powerful. There's nothing more powerful or healing to you than the sound of your own voice. And this is something that's even backed by science. Most recently, the sound of our own voice can be very soothing to us. So let's start out, because I really want to give you this great process today. And let me know how you feel about it afterwards. Drop it in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. All of this information and these resources are here for you. So please let me know what you want to see next, and let me know how this process works for you. So I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes here and take some deep breaths in and out. And now let's start with a little meditation here, because this brings our brain into a calm state. So imagine your feet grounded into the earth, whatever that looks like for you. So this is your very favorite place in nature. Imagine yourself there. Imagine yourself feeling your feet in that place, feeling the earth around your feet. And just take in 5 things you can see here. What are those 5 things? The sky, the trees, maybe it's the earth below you. Take in all of those things. And now take in, let's say, 3 different things you can hear. Maybe you'll hear the sound of birds chirping. Maybe you hear dogs around you, or your cat, something that you love. Maybe you hear the sound of the ocean or the rustling of the leaves. And then take in something that you can smell. Are there any smells around you? And now just bring your mind, body, and spirit up through the sky, up through the planets and the clouds. You're just drifting upwards, calmly moving up. And as you keep moving up, you pass by the colors of the universe, the reds and oranges, yellows, greens, blues, pinks, and purples. And keep moving up, all the way up until you reach this beautiful place of iridescent and pearlescent light. And it just sparkles around you and you feel so calm and peaceful here. You can even picture yourself reclining on a cloud. And as you breathe in here, we bring in all of our spirit guides around us. We're joined by source energy, the Pleiadians, maybe some of your other guides are here with us. We have the archangels gathered around us to help us heal this. And just breathe into this space. And first we'll deal with the belief that you have about this fear. So we're going to let this belief go right now. And I'm going to do this process silently, but what I'll ask you to do is to think of a belief that you have that you wish to let go of and the new belief that could replace it. So I'll give you an example. One belief is, I am unable to speak publicly. I'm unable, or I'm unable to speak well publicly. And the belief you could change that to is, I am capable, or I am good at speaking publicly. If you want to make this more of a fear-based thing, you could say something like, I'm too afraid to publicly speak. And the new belief could be, I am brave enough to publicly speak. We'll just start soft here. And so as I communicate with the guides, I'm watching them bring this old belief of yours straight up to the light, at the root level, at all subconscious levels of belief, at the core level, genetic level, historic level, and soul levels of belief. And as I watch them take it up, you can just breathe out really deeply. Take a deep breath in and then breathe out for as long as you can. Extend that exhale as long as you can. And then hold that exhale out for as long as you can before you need to breathe in again. And don't hurt yourself here. Go with your body. And now I'm watching Source and all of our guides fill you with this new belief in every cell, in every part of you, in every chakra, every meridian. At the root level, on all subconscious levels, at the core, genetic, historic, and soul levels of belief. And feel that new belief circulating through you. And now imagine that old memory differently. If you have a memory of when this all started for you, rewrite that memory. Here we're using both halves of our brain. or you could try a total work. So I'm happy to have you here. Thanks so much.